Latinas coast to coast. You are listening to Cynthia and Yamile Sazonadoras.
Ahí vamos, lista. Hola, somos Latinas Coast to Coast. Soy Cynthia, me pueden decir Cindy, y con mi amiga Yamile. Yamile, introdúcete.
¿Cómo estás? Soy Yamile McBride from Latinas Finas de las Carolinas. On the East Coast.
Sí. A ver, dime, vamos a hablar hoy de funny stories de profesionales, ¿verdad? De tu carrera, algo, vamos a decir, algo chistoso de lo que pasó que vas a decir, ay, Dios mío, I can't believe that happened.
I love it. I love it. You know, and it's funny you say that I can't believe it happened. I can't believe anything in the Carolinas regarding to race or that whole ethnic thing happened. And I say that because recently I went up to New Jersey to see Tony Robbins, and you don't see that as much up there. So I was almost shocked there, like, oh wow, you're actually talking to me, and I'm Latina, and you're white. Wow. So the thing down here in the Carolinas, I'll be honest, I love it. I love the Carolinas. It's beautiful. You get the mountains, you get the beach area, you get just kind of like a triad businessy area. But the one great thing I guess that I can reach out and say to Latinas trying to start a business is that this is probably one of the best places because it's so organic, so at the bottom level. And if you are Latina that are famous like Cynthia is Cindy over there in California, and you wanted to say, you know what, I could do this in a place that nobody has ever done it, this is a really good place. Number one, because all of a sudden you're at a Starbucks, which is where I'm at right now. On the
I love your office.
It's beautiful. Look at this. But like I'm at a Starbucks on the side of town that majority son blancos, professionals and things like that. So I'm probably invading on their space and things like that. So, but está bien, porque necesito hacer eso. Mira, este perrito quiere tomar mi jugo. Okay, ya pasó la mujer.
But you know what? That's what it's about, right? It's about being resourceful. How many times do we say, oh my goodness, I cannot start a business, no tengo dinero para oficina, no tengo dinero para un teléfono propio, ¿verdad? No tengo dinero para agarrar mis cartas de negocio. It's like, these are all important things. Your office. You know what? You make your office wherever you want it. Right? If it's on a park bench, make it on your park bench. If it's sitting down at a bus stop, then that's just your space. That is where you're making money. And you know, you're sitting there, you're not invading, not at all. That's where you're at today.
I love it. Thank you. And that's why I definitely need to be able to reach out to places, you know, like we're talking about Latinas from coast to coast, because we need to help each other out with that. It's funny because the Latinas that are here, although very professional, I love them to death. They've given me so much like a voice, but at the same time, some of them are in fear. Like, no, tenemos que quedarnos en esta cajita. No, cuidado, don't rock the boat. Oh, I understand, but you got to stay in your lane. And for a long time, man, I was doing that. I was staying in my lane. And just feeling yucky. Tell me about, Cynthia, your experience of not having to worry about the lane, because here there is a lane, but I choose to come out of it.
You know, there's still a lane, right? Latinas make 46% less than white male. Right now, they live in the Bay Area in California. Hay muchos latinos aquí, ¿verdad? Y todavía tenemos el pleito que no estamos ganando suficiente dinero en comparación a los hombres, right? We're constantly trying to get ahead, or not even get it. Yes, we're trying to get ahead, but we're trying to match our male counterparts as far as the income is concerned. So the lane that we have is one that has been put in front, not by choice, it's just been there. And now we have several women that are pushing beyond that boundary. And it's first the white women, right? They're getting closer to that wage gap. Pero las Latinas, we're further down. And I'm going to share something that I've noticed. It's like Latinas, we're very well educated. We have our bachelors, we have our masters, we have PhDs, y todavía no estamos ganando a lo que los otros están ganando, right? We are very well educated and we're still beyond that gap. It's still there, it's still existent. So what I'm finding is that we need to connect and network and meet people that are going to push us and elevate us so that we can get those opportunities. It's definitely about going out and meeting people and networking. And that's something personally that I was not taught in my family. It's like, you go to work, you don't ask for more, be happy that you got a job. You know what? I'll be happy when I am making X amount and there is no wage gap. I'll be happy when there's more Latinas in politics. That is the whole thing. My lane, I refuse to travel in my lane. I go to work, I wear a dress, I wear my Converse. I'm not going to wear heels. My feet aren't happy in heels. So why would I want to do that? Because someone says in corporate world I'm supposed to wear heels? Sorry, that's not me. And I'm not sorry. That's the whole thing. I'm done being sorry. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm educated. I work for my family. I give to my community. And at the same time, the society is saying, I'm sorry, you're going to get paid less because you're this gender. I think that is total nonsense. And this lane that you speak about, I encourage all women to push it out. And the way we do that is by connecting with each other and lifting each other up. You know, the story you're telling about where you're starting organically, you know, you're being resourceful, you're reaching out to people to expand your word on what you're doing. And that's how we're going to make an impact. So the lane that I'm in is one that for the first time in a very long time, I am comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Nice. You know what I heard? So I'm writing down in my for free book through Wix that I just found out I could get them for free. But anyway, what I wrote down is that it sounds like the lane is the same from coast to coast. So it doesn't matter if you're Latina in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, or if estás in the valley where you're at in California. The lane is the same. But what I heard you say, super clear, is that you now have to be comfortable to be uncomfortable. And it's okay, you know. So that actually gives me, you know, a little bit more excited because, okay, it's not a Carolina thing. It really is a nationwide thing. It's almost like an epidemic. And until we are resourceful, like what you said, and not afraid to just say, no, that's not going to happen, we'll be able to see changes.
And it's beyond that. It's beyond that. You know, it's Latin America. It's several countries over there. I mean, in the U.S., that's our wage gap for Latinas is 46%. ¿Te imaginas? Mexico, Chile, El Salvador. You know, women are still, unfortunately, second-rate citizens. And it's about that mind shift that we are loyal people to our companies that we work at. And that loyalty, unfortunately, has hurt us. You know, we have been afraid to ask for more. We've been afraid to pursue dreams or educations in some places that we thought, you know, that's not possible. So there's a lot that we can do together, not just coast to coast. This goes beyond. And this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? You've started. So you're digging, and you're finding more.
Exactamente. And that's what's been really exciting this week, that there's been kind of so many, there's been good and there's been bad. I did a video for Latinas Finas page and it was talking about that. But the ultimate thing is that I had to make myself, look, I'm grateful for even the poo-poo, you know, because we even make mistakes, you know. So when I'm encountering these people and either they're afraid or they're leading me, oh, well, why don't you go where all the pobrecitos are living? That's where you can find the Latinas. You know, just that whole misconception. But the company that I'm creating is to bring awareness about Latina. It's not, so obviously it was just a confirmation that even in the junk, I have to continue on. And although it hurts or whatever, the more I persist, the more I push through, that's when I found like almost like victorious things. I will tell you that we got connected yesterday, and I had to push through all the negative thoughts and everything. And I
Mhm.
went and met somebody, and they're connecting me with the vice president of Goodwill Services because they
Mhm.
see a platform for Latinas Finas to be there. And I say Latinas Finas because that's my organization, but Latinas in general, something that they
Yeah.
were not able to crack open, and it's because of that. Talk to us about because one thing is to be a female, right? We already know that females
Mhm.
are second rate. But the other thing is really Latinas. If let's say we have a bingo and say, hey, I've got a free card to offer you. All you have to do is go to these classes versus a Latina, I've got a free card. All you have to go to these classes. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying when I say that? Because and the reason I'm asking the question is what I'm noticing is if there is an American organization like the YMCA, let's say, and offering services to Latinas, I see them picking it up quicker than when I'm offering same things in a bilingual format. They're more hesitant.
Mhm.
They're almost thinking like I'm screwing the system or something like that. Have you found anything like that? Do you understand what I'm saying? That
Yes,
Latinas are still afraid.
what I think what you're asking is, how do we have this well-established organization that perhaps is hesitant to collaborate with something that's new, right? Is that along the lines of where you're going?
Yeah, yeah, that is one of the ways. And the
Okay.
other thing is like the intellectual Latinas here looking at this organic thing and not understanding that that's how
Oh,
a
sure.
large organization, Goodwill, got started.
Hmm.
And they're hesitant thinking you're trying to screw the system, which is where I've come up across.
Okay, so yes, definitely. I'm going to share that I'm the director of marketing for Lean in Latinas, which is a Latina group here in the Bay Area that we are advocates and pursue. Our vision is to provide a professional, personal career growth for Latinas and women all around. And that I can tell you, that was a group that's also started grassroots organically in the founder's backyard. It started out with 5, and I joined when there was about 20. And now we have about 500, over 500 members. We
Wow.
have over 12 circles nationwide. And at first, people are like, who is this Latinas and Latinas and what are they about?
Right.
We met monthly. We were consistent. We had topics. We read through Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In. That was the inspiration for the start of this group. And at first, it was just a way to come together for Latinas to have a safe space to talk about their professional endeavors and some personal struggles. And we had a generational, huge generations. We had people that were senior level to people in their 20s just finishing up college. We've had high school students come to our meetings, and it brought a safe space that eventually people started to share what we were doing, and it started to grow. In a matter of 2 years, with the help of some serious sweat equity from the leadership, it grew. And what happened is a lot of, those large organizations that you speak, probably they had no clue who we were. They're like, we don't know what you're doing. And slowly now these organizations are reaching out to Lean in Latinas for panelists to share what our
Wow.
experiences are, to be keynote speakers.
Yeah.
We have local politicians wanting and attending some of our meetings. In
Mhm.
fact, we had our largest retreat and conference in August. We had over 90 people attend. And
Nice.
this was on a Saturday, right? These are professional women giving up their Saturday to come and hear some really valuable lessons to take away. And it took time. That's how it was. It
Yeah.
took time. One, to show that we're consistent. This is our message. We have a platform. We have an audience. And then from there, all of these other organizations and politicians started to say, hey, I want to know more. What are you doing?
wow.
And
Okay.
I can tell you that reaching out to the local news, whomever has any type of community type of program, reach out to them. Say, hey, this is what I'm starting and I'm really excited about it. I want to share it with the people in my area. Talking to authors or let's say periodistas, ¿verdad? That write about local things, sharing that information and vision. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, thinking that they're supposed to come to you, and you're already doing this. You're reaching out. You're reaching out and going out to them, and you're going to get a lot of no's. But the key is to keep saying, asking and asking and asking, right? And it might also take asking in a different way, right? And or inviting them to one of your events and sharing what's going on. There's a lot of different things that can happen, and it's going to take time. And here, it just so happens to be that in California, our political climate is, we're very liberal, a lot of Democrats, and a lot of Latinos here are Democrats. And with the political system and the way things are right now, this became a space that there's people that look like them, that think like them, that have the same concerns of what's changing, what's not changing. There's that fear. And this is a space to come together and talk through those things. And for you, a lot of Latinas might be unsure. What is your message? What are you giving? I imagine that there is a lot of fear on potentially having a large group of Latinas, especially what you shared with me, that there was no Women's March in January.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's one of the things we did together. Several of us got together and marched in downtown San Jose for women's rights. And there were over 25,000 people in San Jose marching of all colors, men,
Wow.
women, children, everyone was out there. I did see one white supremacist group out there, and they stayed there. They stayed far away. Police were there. Police were, supporting women. And there were some great speakers and activists on telling us how to get together and make a difference. And you may not make a difference today, but sharing your message, it's going to ripple and make an impact. So it's a lot of work, but we're doing it not because there's money involved. It's because, we want to have a better society for our future generations.
Right.
We don't want that same struggle to be repeated.
Right, exactly. And I think that is the biggest, especially because I came out of education for 18 years. I was in education. And in this area, it's not as progressive. A lot of the brown kids, those are the ones that are failing miserably. Even the affluent brown kids are the ones that are failing miserably. And it's because of what you just said. There isn't even a lot of the Latinos here that I have met there. And now with this video that's going to go out there, you guys are going to challenge me. And yes, challenge me, please, something. But a lot of the Latinos that I have met, either they're like super Republican, which is fine. I love you, my sisters. But they're Republican because of their community surrounding. They don't want to be saying I'm independent or I'm a liberal or I'm a Democrat because of what the majority here is. They don't want to rock the boat, and they're still kind of in fear. But again, the children don't have that. They don't see somebody, in politics that is Latina, and even a Latino male. There isn't that down here. The councilmen are fully blancos, and not that I'm trying to discriminate, but when are our brown families, when are our brown kids going to be able to see, oh shoot, she's Latina and she's on the board, she's on here, whatever. So the sad part is that I am on a board, and they see that I'm reputable in the sense that I'm not going out here and I'm crazy and doing drugs and stuff like that. But son las mismas Latinas que están tratando de enfurecer la misión. Does that make sense? And that's been the sad part this week that I had, and at the same time funny because it's like, yo, did you say you wanted to get out of this? You know, I mean, the
Mm.
very message that I hear you say in quiet, I'm here with the altoparlante, you know, willing to take the whippings and whatever to say this message, but you're gonna go and say bad things about it. So that's where I've
Mm.
come, and I had to be really candid with my board and say, I'm just gonna tell you, you might hear some negative stuff about this. So I need to know that you guys are willing to stand in the grain in the gap. And thank
Yeah.
God that they said, yeah, let's do it. One of the great things somebody said on my board today is say, so then that means you need to sit down in a very reputable place with a Latina that has a question and their boss so that they hear
Yeah.
your story too. So so it's
Yeah.
challenging.
And your rules are very different from my rules. You
Uh-huh.
know, that's the big thing. You have to know your audience, and where you're at, it's a lot more conservative. You know, you have to dress a certain way, and here in the Bay Area, there's a lot more flexibility. You know, and even within your companies that each Latina works in, there's certain rules of how you need to appear and dress in order to succeed. Every path to success has a different road, a different way. and and it's not to say you have to follow those rules to the T. It's absolutely challenge them to a point that it allows you to wake up in the morning and be satisfied to what you've accomplished, to who you are. Because the more that you do something that steps away from your center, from who you are, your authentic self, que eres Latina, si hablas español, si no hablas español, you know, it's okay not to speak Spanish. You're Latina. It's fine. Own it. If there's something that is taking you away from who you are, you're going to feel it. And it's going to feel like the most horrible thing. And you're not going to want to give it 100%. And that is key. And what I hear you saying is that there's no role models. You know, the people that are out there, they're not us. You know, they're not female, they're not brown, they're not, maybe not even black. I don't know about that over there too. There's the people of color. You know, I don't know what's the color spectrum look like as far as leaders over there.
Right.
And here there's more, but there should be a lot more. There must
Right.
be a lot more.
In comparison, number wise, you guys should have more. Um, but I feel like one day we're gonna be able to get there. It's gonna take a
Hmm.
lot of time. I keep on hearing time, 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 and that is true. But I
Yep.
feel like time is even more of the essence here because this is these are the very people, our children, you know, that are going to be leading our country, leading this area. And if they're
Hmm.
just going to be going straight to like a prison system, like a pipeline to prison system or a pipeline
Yes.
to a social services thing, then we ultimately are creating a huge chaotic mess. And so that is, I think that's the biggest story that I want people to understand is that if we don't start doing something, then it's going to get worse. If we think that now is bad, like 38% Latinas are still getting pregnant in their teen years,
Mm.
44% of Latinas do not work in the United States. Um, those numbers are just going to increase to the worst side. So, so I'm super excited that I'm able to like see another perspective, somebody else out there, to kind of keep me like, okay, no, don't falter. It's gonna happen. It still happens there, which is sad. But at the same
Yep.
time, that it's gonna be okay. And I love the way the other thing that you were saying is that when something leads you away from who my essence is, almost like that energy that we've learned about, right? And
Mhm.
man, I felt it a lot this week, and I've had to kind of, you remember, pivot to get ourselves back into
Mhm.
that mindset. I had to do that a lot, and so
Yep.
by doing that, I had to do videos. I had to like empower myself with videos.
Mhm.
I had to empower myself with people of like-minded. So yeah, to just ground myself back in because even though it's not going to be easy, I've taken easy routes and they're kind of not fun. You know, because I
Yeah.
always was thinking like, oh, there's like a better way to do this, but you know,
Mhm.
easy route is not always the best. So, wow, these have been good conversations.
Yeah. What's your biggest, your number one thing you want people to remember from this today?
So I could keep it clean because, soy Latina Finas, or I could just say shit happens. And
Mhm.
it happens um, to grow us, because I really feel like when I think of like why they even created it and why there's somebody who's making millions and millions of dollars when they created fertilizer, it's because it works. Poo, putting it in certain areas, it works. You have to have poo in order to get growth and gain um, just growth. So that's
Mhm.
probably it. That it's okay if you falter. It's okay if stuff happens and you feel like poo poo that day. That's probably the poo poo you need to grow.
Mhm. Definitely. Thank
How about
you.
you? What do you get out of this conversation?
The biggest takeaway for me is that, one, don't live in a bubble. I live in my Bay Area bubble where it's all sorts of colors. There's rainbow flags everywhere, and I embrace it because people are being their authentic selves, and I love it. I love the energy. And then I forget that my other Latina sisters across the country are still living a struggle that's very much from the 1970s. And that's disheartening to me. I need to step out of my bubble and reach out and tell people, look, there is a better way. And I'm here. I don't know how I'm going to get you, but I'm here. Reach out, talk to me, share your story. Don't be afraid. Fear is horrible. Do not live in fear. Go find your path. Challenge yourself. Salte del miedo. Toma acción. Habla con otras Latinas. Talk to some women that have made it, whether they're Latin or not, because I can promise you that something in their story is going to trigger and share and tell you, you know what, you can do it. You can reach your dream. And now is the time to dream bigger.
Ya es hora. Ya es
Sí.
hora. Very
Yes.
good. Yes, I love it. I love it, love it, love it.